What up, YouTube? It's Speed Vampire, Speed Vampire. So, I got some more questions. Some more questions from some of my friends. So, I'm gonna answer some of those that I written down. So, it says, what are myths and truths about vampires? Well, mirrors, myth. We have reflections. So, in the movies, when they don't have reflections, it's obviously CGI, but real vampires do have reflections. That's 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 true. Like we do have reflections, but that's the truth. That's the truth. Can vampires have certain powers? Each vampire has a certain special ability that they can deal with. So yeah, so they've been answering to that. Um, is it true that another truth is This one goes into the other question. Do vampires have to be invited into a house? Yes, if it's owned by humans, we have to be invited in. If you uninvite us, then we have to leave and we cannot enter. The vampire cannot enter your house without your permission. There's like a barrier that blocks it, like a force field. Second, you say come on in to a vampire, that barrier is gone. That vampire can enter anytime he or she wants to. But is it true that you are a good vampire? Yes, that is true. I am a good vampire, so I am good. Um, how did you come up with the name Speedy the Vampire? Well, I came up with a YouTube name Speedy the Vampire because my original vampire name, was Speedy, and I was a vampire, so I just put together Speedy the Vampire. So that's how I got my YouTube name. Did you go by any YouTube names in the past? Yes. Several of them they got hacked and stolen. So for over 14 years I went by Ghostbuster of Stratford, which means which I did live in Stratford, Justin Bieber. You know where Justin Bieber was born? That's where I lived for 14 years. Then I came to Toronto, that Ghostbusters Stratford got hacked and the videos got stolen, so I went by Clark Kent. That one got stolen, those videos and the name, so I went to Speedy the Vampire, and I've been going through that to different channels because they kept getting stolen. Who is the BST? This question I get asked quite a bit. There are people you do not want to know. Alright? I got letters from them in my backpack. In that backpack. I got letters from them. Threatening to kill me. Threatening to take my YouTube channel. Threatening all this stuff. They even captured my family. And since the BST doesn't know who I am, they went to an abandoned house. Which means that's the next one. Can a vampire enter an abandoned house without being asked or invited in? Yes, if the place is abandoned, we can just walk right in. But since the BST chose an abandoned place for their headquarters, I could just walk right in. So again, I did rescue my family, so yeah. How do vampires survive on blood? Or how? Or why? Well, because vampires need to drink blood because their own blood can't sustain human globe. We constantly have to feed on blood. I feed on animal blood since 1864. Have you ever? That brings us to the next question: is have you ever killed a witch or any other being in your time? Yes, I've killed witches before. I've killed warlocks. I've killed a whole whack of things. But yes, I've killed a lot of witches in my past. I'm not proud of. Have you ever dated a human? Actually, I dated several humans, and one of them was actually a slayer at one point. So yeah, I did date a few humans in my time. How old are you in vampire years? Well, I am a vampire, so that was wrong. How old are you? How old are you? I am 3,102 years old. If you don't believe me, how would I stay that young? Only way is to become a vampire, and I covered that in the other video of part 1. This is part 2. So yes, I have been a vampire for 3,102 years. Personally, if you were human, you would have been dead. Obviously, I would have been dust, and I'd be dust to dust if I was a human. No human can survive that long. Unless they're bitten by a vampire. Which brings the next one. Do you know Dracula? Yes! The original Dracula from Rome, Transylvania, Rome? Yes, he's the one who turned me into a vampire. He took me under his wing, and he wanted me and my adopted vampire brother to feed on human blood. We said, not gonna happen. We're leaving. He's like, oh, you can't leave. You can't stop. You can't stop us. You have to stay here. Well, the next day, that night, I heard a mob. The next morning, I heard a mob come, like, angry, like mobs like you see in the show, like pitchforks, torches. This one had several of them had big wooden stakes. They're pounding down the door. So, that means the next question is there any passages in this Dracula's castle? There's several passages in the castle from north, east, south, west. The mob was going to the front door, which was on the east, so me and my brother took the west side. So yeah, and we got out and we left during the daytime. Because we both had daylight rings. Who was the very first vampire to come across the daylight ring? That would be me? I was the first vampire to come across the daylight ring. I wanted something. I went to a witch one night and like, I need a piece of jewelry to walk in the sunlight. She just so happened to have this real silver ring. She put a spell on it and now I can walk in the sunlight without burning. What's it like being a vampire? It's awesome. Is it awesome being a vampire, but have you ever turned anyone? I have turned a few people, yes, but I choose not to. Even though I feel on animal blood, my vampire venom is not as strong. Which means the next one is how do you turn people into vampires? Well, there's several ways to turn into a vampire. One, you can be bitten, bitten by neck, they drink your blood, choose their venom. With yours, it's the other step, which is venom. The third step is they put a blood into a cup, you drink it, well, they drink your blood, you drink theirs out of a cup and exchange that stuff, and you become a vampire. Is there a spell to become a real life vampire? The spells don't normally work as vampires, and also, can you be born as a vampire? Yes, you can be born as a vampire, yes. But it's very rare. Most people get bitten, turned, venomized. Now then the next question is, how long does the vampire venom last? You do not want to know that one, but if you want to know, you ask the question. So, the question of vampire venom will last 5.5 hours. You're like, what speed? You mean 5.5 hours? Yes, 5.5 hours. You heard me correctly. 5.5 hours. Are there werewolves as well as vampires? Yes, there is. There are werewolves along with vampires, yes. There was vampires, there are werewolves. Have you ever seen a mermaid? This was kind of awesome, but yes, I actually seen a mermaid before. I was in Cuba and I got attacked. This isn't a vampire question, but the mermaid I saw was a vampire mermaid. She saved me from a great white shark when I was in Cuba. Though yes, mermaids are real, and I did see a vampire mermaid that saved me. Is any of your family members a werewolf? I covered this in part 1. Yes, I have a werewolf brother. I have a werewolf brother, yes. So yes, I do have a werewolf brother. What was the name of the virus that you had before you turned? It was unknown. So there was no name for it. They didn't know what to call it. It was unknown. There was an unknown virus. I don't even know what it's called. Back in 778 BC, it was unknown, so we didn't know. And the final question is, how do you gain vampire powers? Well, once you're turned or born as a vampire, you have the powers. You get bit or turned, you have the powers as well. So again, any more questions? Let me know in the comment description below. And I'll get back to them. I'll get to them until the next video. Peace.